Hello, everyone. Welcome to another installment of WGS-TV right here on YouTube.com/WrestleGamer and ZFX-TV. I'm the WrestleGamer. Don't be Billy Boudreaux. I got a few people to introduce you to. First off, he is the Studly Man, Ashley. Ashley, how you doing? On that notification, ladies and gentlemen, he's James from the Big Easy. James, how you doing?
I'm doing all right.
And ladies and gentlemen, he is our resident music mogul over on YouTube.com/LanceMossTV. He is the incomparable Lance Moss. Lance, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I guess it was something I said that caused Ash to jump out of the call.
Well, Ashley, our Studly Man Ashley.
Why do you do that?
Studly Man Ashley will probably be joining us back in just a couple of minutes because he's been known to have internet issues with his connections. So we do apologize about that, ladies and gentlemen. But we're going to be looking, while we try to endeavor to get him back here on the Monday Night Raw review for the week of January 13th, 2014. We'll try to get him back. Well, let's go ahead and talk about the show. And I gotta say, this week's Monday Night Raw was a very, very match-heavy Monday Night Raw. I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining about it, but I'm just saying, for once in a blue moon, it's good to have the internet connection that's giving you a problem.
It was for a minute, yeah.
Well, we're getting on to Monday Night Raw.
Video.
Now, they started out the show with the Usos taking on Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt, which was was supposed to be one of the featured matches. We opened up Monday Night Raw with it, and the matchup in itself looked good until the Luke Harper and Eric Rowan decided to run in interference. Therefore, it got into a disqualification again. And would that that ruling kind of stand up? Well, you guys are going to find out later in the review, as we're welcoming another person in here. Ladies and gentlemen, Fingers McGee from Rockin' Ways 11294 is here. Chris Rogers. Chris, I can see the aftermath from your little finger issue in your hair. But anyway, I got to go 3.5 out of 5 on that opening. And I got to go to you, Ashley, for this one. Damien Sandow and John Cena. People are saying that ever since Sandow cashed in Money in the Bank, he's just been done. He's been buried in the WWE. By Cena? Would you agree with that assessment?
To be honest, no. I think he doesn't deserve to be main event talent. He needs to have more on the mid card, but in all honesty, I'll try and put people other than the same 2 or 3 individuals against Cena and or Orton, which they've had to do over the last few months. I mean, Big Show didn't fit as an opponent for Orton back at Survivor Series, but they had to do it basically because they didn't get it to be Bryan and Orton over and over and over. So I think now is within a shout, I think, possibly of getting a Money in the Bank briefcase down the line later this year, but certainly I think either a US IC title or whatever it is when they merge them, they do.
Well, in this matchup, Damien Sandow had a version of John Cena's STF on him. Cena counters by picking him up, which, in my opinion, would require a great amount of strength and balance to pull off, and Cena did just that and countered into the AA, getting the victory for him. And one would have to say, Ashley, with his pending title match, he would have to be the one to go over in this match.
Yeah, you've got to make. Well, yeah, you've got to make him the challenger looks strong. Otherwise, it's really a case of why are we putting him in this title match when there just seemed to be no reason anyway in the first place. I mean, it was inevitable that Cena was going to get his rematch, but that's another case where it could have been somebody else, but they don't want to pull that trigger until Elimination Chamber, when everybody and their mother and John Cena's father will get involved.
Very interesting. Very interesting that Ashley brought that up. We'll talk about that when we get to that point in the review. 3.5 out of 5 for Cena and Sandow. And Cena haters, why the hate? Even Daniel Reaper on the Facebook page, why the hate? That's all I'm going to say. Why? But anyway, let's go. We go backstage, and we find Kane and Brad Maddox talking, and decided to make a rematch with the Usos taking on Damien, Bryan, and Bray Wyatt. But in this instance, this time it'll be a steel cage match. And Kane also added the stipulation that the door would be padlocked, and he would be the only person to have the key. So I got to say, if I remember correctly, this is one of the first times the Usos have been in the main event for Monday Night Raw. Other than being just a part of a six-man tag. Yeah, so I'm gonna say, we'll talk about that match when we get to the main event. As we look at the next one, Big Show versus Jack Swagger, aka Weed McMuffin, as the Studley Man Ashley so eloquently decides to call him. In every essence, whenever we talk about Mr. Jack Swagger, whether on a Skype call or on here. I was really expecting...
Can we also call him Daffy Duck?
Well, if that's what you want to call him, go right ahead and do that, Chris. Lance, I got to say this... with them starting out a story with an angle between the Big Show and Brock Lesnar, I was really expecting Lesnar to run in on this match, but it really didn't happen. It just turned out to be a completely dominating performance by Big Show with the chokeslam on Jack Swagger, and then Big Show, very hilariously knocking out Zeb Colter.
Yeah, I mean, basically, Swagger got squashed, and but they probably Brock probably has so many appearances in his contract or something like he used. I know he did the last time, and they just let's just build up Big Show a little bit more before the Royal Rumble or something. He'll probably have another altercation with him next week.
I wonder if Big Show been studying up on Hacksaw Jim Duggan tapes about that wind-up he had.
I thought that was Butterbean, to be quite honest.
Hacksaw did his first, believe it or not. He even did it back in Mid-South. So, and I should know, I watched the DVD.
Yeah, but when Hacksaw did it, he made an embarrassment of, Bart Gunn. And that's always a positive thing.
3.75 out of 5 on that one. I gotta say, Big Show looked hilarious. But next up, something that really, really intrigued me. CM Punk and the New Age Outlaws taking on the Shield. And one thing, James, that I believe no one saw coming, but it kind of makes sense if you think about it, is the New Age Outlaws turning on CM Punk in this match. Now, if people remember correctly, they were in Degeneration X with who? The COO Triple H.
I kind of expected this New Age Outlaws walking out on CM Punk for a while, because they got to continue on with the CM Punk versus the Authority storyline, and why not do it on Raw? I mean, I've done it, but why would you want to do it on SmackDown if you can just do it on Raw? I kind of expected that thing to that short alliance to it.
Chris, let me ask you this question: do you think, again, it's a fair assessment that the reasons why they had New Age Outlaws turn on CM Punk was, of course, to have him, with their association with Triple H, But one thing I will say, though, Chris, you probably got to agree with me. I'm pretty sure everyone here agrees. New Age Outlaws, especially Billy Gunn, have they even aged? Billy Gunn looks better than ever, to be honest.
I have to agree with you on that there, Billy.
Definitely.
I want to know what his secret is. I want to know what plastic surgeon he uses, or what kind of weird, like, natural age grow in your garden pill crap that he takes to not age.
2 words, Chris. Nipple tassels.
Nipple tassel.
But also, I don't know if you saw this, Billy, but there was actually a poll up on WWE.com in relation to the whole thing with Punk and the New Age Outlaws, and it was something like, how many people saw this coming, or whatever, and overwhelmingly 77% said that they saw this coming. Once a DX member, always a DX member.
Definitely.
When you said a poll was up, I thought all hail Ivan Putski.
Polish power.
Exactly.
I thought only Sausage did that.
Oh, shut up. 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5 on the match. The only thing I'll say about the Roman Reigns spot with the spear, it almost looked like Punk was kind of leading him on, because he was like kind of leaning backwards, expecting to eat the spear. Maybe I'm just nitpicking a little bit. Could be just me, but
better to eat the spear than to eat defeat.
Oh God, Kim's not even involved in that. But speaking of someone who's just as hot, if not hotter, than and it's not even Oksana I'm talking about, so don't even start. AJ Lee and Tamina taking on the Funkadactyls. A lot of
it's the chick that might be on the front of Maxim magazine.
Yeah, AJ Lee closing in, I believe it's now 212 days as the current WWE Divas champion.
Yeah,
and
she needs to survive until Sunday. She needs to survive until Sunday to beat Maurice's record.
Because she only has 4 days to go until she breaks Maurice's record. So I think by Saturday she'll break it. I think Saturday.
Maurice's period will be over.
No, it's Saturday.
Insert your own joke here.
Sunday.
Guys, think about what Ashley just said. You don't need to repeat it. You don't need to repeat it.
Billy, I'd rather not. Okay, I'd rather not.
Oh, yeah, I heard it.
Anyway, to the matchup very quickly. AJ Lee hit the Shining Wizard on Cameron.
Get the paper towels.
Shut up, Chris. After the match was over.
Billy.
Go ahead.
Billy, there's one thing I want to mention. Before the match started, we saw a sign that says Emma Taney. The person that was holding the sign was Emma. Will we see the evolution come to the WWE sometime soon?
She was holding that sign up with the hashtag and everything, and everyone around her was like, "Who are you?" Seriously, people, watch NXT.
Definitely watch NXT.
Yeah. Why she's in the crowd? There was a reason why she must be in the crowd.
We could be seeing her soon on the main roster. I'd like to see her and Paige on the main roster. But anyway, to very quick list of the match. Again, it was AJ Lee with the Shining Wizard on Cameron getting the victory. After the match, the AJ Lee and Tamina started a beat. And then Naomi comes in making the save for a Funkadactyl, and maybe we could see a push for Naomi as for a run at the Divas Championship. You never know. Naomi is probably the more talented member of the Funkadactyls than Cameron. But anyway, let's go 3 out of 5.
Plus, she doesn't bribe police officers, allegedly.
Allegedly. Anyway, of course, ladies and gentlemen, we finally found out the first inductee to this year's 2014 WWE Hall of Fame class. It's the Ultimate Warrior.
Congratulations, Billy. I was so amazed. Oh, wait, it's the Ultimate Warrior. Sorry.
Oh, jeez. I don't even know how to respond to that, but I will say this, though, guys, is that we will have a separate video from this, talking about, the Ultimate Warrior being named into our Hall of Fame and getting all of our reactions and our responses to WWE putting him in the Hall of Fame this year. So be sure you stay tuned to WGS-TV for that, as well as up next, something very, very interesting. This happened, started backstage. Randy Orton, very, very upset, that the authority was not there, was not present for Monday Night Raw. Kane kind of making a match involving Randy Orton and Kofi Kingston, because to quote, give Randy Orton a chance to vent his anger. Well, it turned out to be really what I have to consider a big, huge upset on Monday Night Raw, with Kingston getting the win with the SOS on the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And then Randy Orton was upset, went outside, started cussing at everybody, and then next thing you know, he starts hitting somebody in the crowd. I didn't really recognize who it was at first until they panned the camera onto him. At first I thought it was Randy Orton just attacking some random fan, and it turned out to be John Cena's father. Actually, haven't we seen an angle with this already, with Randy Orton attacking John Cena's father? I mean, didn't they do this like several years ago?
Yeah, but remember, people in WWE are not supposed to have a memory. They are supposed to be stupid. You're not supposed to know about the past, despite the fact that WWE work is loaded with the past. You morons.
Yep, out comes John Cena at one check by Randy Orton, and then just check on his father. And a lot of references were made on Facebook hearing John Cena saying MFer. You guys can pretty much put together what that means. And so we're just going to have to go on from that one as well as we take a look at the next. Well, up next we had the Brotherhood taking on Rybaxel. A lot of people over the weekend were paying attention to Ryback's Twitter account, with all these strange tweets that were going out. A lot of people are thinking his account was hacked. At one point there was a report saying that Ryback, quoted was being released. A lot of people are thinking he was done in WWE, but it turned out to be not the case, as they had a tag match with him on Monday Night Raw. But you want to talk about someone who's fallen far from grace in the WWE land, so it has to be Ryback.
Yeah. I mean, I saw a meme on Facebook that said, Ryback, eat, sleep, tweet, delete.
Repeat.
Yeah, that
says it all.
Pretty much. But
that poor bastard.
Yeah, Cody hitting Crossroads on Curtis Axel to get the victory for his team. Up next we had Rey Mysterio and Alberto Del Cuerpo, and I gotta say it was pretty much just something we haven't seen before out of him. Just classic stuff. But Del Rio locking on a cross arm breaker on Mysterio to get the win. But once again, James, Del Rio had words for Batista, and one's got to figure when he makes his return to WWE next week on Monday Night Raw, that they're going to have an angle already built up for him, between himself and Alberto Del Rio.
Mm-hmm, exactly, and that's what it's going to be. It's basically Del Rio and Batista's going to have this little small feud against each other. Batista's going to beat him up.
That was me hoping it'd be Batista and Zack Ryder.
Oh, God. Be the first time in a long time. But anyway, 3 out of 5 for that one, and now we go to the main event, the steel cage match between the Usos and Bray Wyatt and Daniel Bryan. Now, what's more important to look at this, guys and gals, is the fact that not only did the Usos win by escaping the cage, a lot of people are thinking Daniel Bryan is locked in a cage with Bray Wyatt. And it's something James said on a preview we did of Old School Monday Night Raw when we talked about Daniel Bryan joining the Wyatt family, making a reference to, destroying them from within. That turned out to be exactly what Daniel Bryan was doing. He wanted to make sure he had an advantage, keeping the other members of the Wyatt family out, and Daniel Bryan just went out and attacked Bray Wyatt, and I gotta say, a lot of fans were happy to see that, but at the same time, Ashley, a lot of fans were probably expecting that at the same time.
No. In all honesty, no. I've said no quite a lot. For me, this has ended too quick. We could have drawn this out till after the Rumble or towards Elimination Chamber time. 2 weeks is way too short, I think. It doesn't deserve that. It deserved longer. But the one genius thing that does come out of it is, of sorts, Kane gets his revenge. After, being screwed over by them at SummerSlam, he's like, there was a purpose for him having the lock and the key. So Bray could get screwed up by Bryan because he kind of, I guess, knew there's some sort of hidden telepathy between Team Hell No, which still lives on. I don't know.
Justin Lippman on the Facebook page I put this. Can you imagine if the crowd reaction at the angle had gone on just a few weeks longer? They were freaking out tonight. If it had lasted another month before he turned, there would have been massive heart attacks. You guys agree with that assessment from Justin Lippman?
Yeah.
What's that?
I concur.
There's a little difference with this one. It's basically for me, it's like this. By before that Old School Raw, we had no idea who was going to win the Royal Rumble. But at the same time, this is where everybody's saying, "Oh, this is the point where Daniel Bryan's going to win the Royal Rumble." Is that going to be true? That's the question.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time to find out our overall scores and our picks for best and worst match or segment of Monday Night Raw. And, of course, I will be going to the Facebook page for those of you who put a comment with your picks as well. And your comments will be read out loud here on the review. But as far as I'm concerned...
There's segments today?
Well, match or segment. Match or segment. I didn't say match and segment. Match or segment. But there really wasn't any more segments, so James does have...
What deal with segments?
Exactly. James does bring up a good point. So it's just match this week around, guys. It's just overall best match and worst match of the night. And I got to say, the steel cage matchup was okay. But if I really want to pick my winner, I got to go with Randy Orton and Kofi Kingston, because to me, a lot of people are expecting Kofi Kingston to job to Orton, and that turned out to be not the case. as Kofi Kingston not only got the win, but now we saw more development of the angle between Randy Orton and John Cena involving John Cena's father. So I did say that, WWE had to do something to build on it, and well, apparently they did that to build for Orton and Cena. Worst match of the night, I'm sad to say, Tag Team Divas match. It was really uninteresting to me. And normally I'm an advocate for AJ Lee, but she carried that match. In all honesty, in my opinion, she carried that match. I can't really, a lot of people out there might have a difference of opinion about that, but then again, this is my YouTube channel. I'm expressing my opinion about it. So that's why I said the Divas match, the Tag Team Divas match, was the worst match. The Divas were starting to look good, but all of a sudden they started to kind of fall flat like that. Now, before I go to the other guys, there's one person on the Facebook page, believe it or not, that actually did put up his thoughts and his comments. And it's Casey Cunningham on the Facebook page. And Casey Cunningham says, I give it a 5. Lot of good twists. Worst match was the Diva tag match, and my two favorites, because the Outlaws leaving on Punk was great. Didn't see that coming. And some people hating on the Orton attacking Cena's dad because it had been done before by Edge. But that's why I liked it. At least it's his real dad. That's what makes it badass. So shout out to Casey Cunningham for his thoughts on Monday Night Raw. Ashley, over to you. Your overall score and your picks for best and worst match of Monday Night Raw.
I'd have to give it a 4. Best match, I'd say I'd actually give it to Orton Kofi because it was a very good match, and the surprising finish I was a big fan of as well. The worst segment was the constant berating of the WWE Network. This is the new WWE app, ladies and gentlemen. For the next 5 weeks, every segment is going to be WWE Network, WWE Network. It might get to a point where I actually won't want to, when it was launched, it was like, yeah, I'm interested. If they're going to keep mentioning it, every single Raw, every single Superstars, every single NXT, every single SmackDown, it's really going to be a case of, now you're getting on my nerves. And it's already there, and it's only like only 6 or 7 days since the actual announcement. That is ridiculous, ridiculous. Anything else that ends in us,
all right,
things like that.
Anyway, to bring it now?
Lance, do you want to give your thoughts?
As Billy's on the phone.
Sure. Well, my overall score 4 out of 5. Best match, the steel cage match. Worst match, John Cena's dad jobbing out to Randy Orton.
With fake screen girls slash women.
At least you can make it to where you can take at least one punch and then go down on the second punch. Come on, man.
Hey, well, let me say this, though. At least he jobbed out to Randy Orton and not someone like Nate Dogg from Ringside Wrestling Radio. But anyway, for those of you who don't know, there was some sort of rumored show that he's putting together and a matchup between Nate Dogg and John Cena Sr. that was going to happen. So, I just want to make sure you guys understood that reference. James, what about you? What's your overall score and your picks for best and worst match of Monday Night Raw?
I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5. The best match, I would say, steel cage. Worst match would have to be the Divas. Even though, am I correct? This is a good sign of here. Hashtag we want Paige.
Actually, I think I do have a best moment as well.
Go ahead.
Which is Paul Heyman calling Zeb Colter Jack Swagger's illegitimate grandfather. Yes.
Wow. Cha-ching. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, on that note, what we want to know now from you guys out there, the viewers and subscribers, your thoughts on Monday Night Raw this week. You should put your comments in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and favorite this video. Lance, what can fans expect to see when they come visit your channel over on youtube.com/LanceMossTV?
Q&As, NASCAR reviews, album reviews, cooking videos, a little bit of wrestling stuff, and whatever else pops into my head.
And when he's not illegally stealing my Pringles and eating them here on the review, James, what you got anything coming up?
What?
Pringle. That's all. You will find me on the HWR page doing news. Same thing with the WGS-TV. And there's a news. We have found a new home. The new home is uVlog. That's the letter U, VLO.com.
Interesting. Our fans also don't forget to.
That's where we do all our stuff.
Be sure you, the link will also be on. The link will be in the description box of this video, guys, and also on the Facebook page for WGS-TV. Don't forget to like that page and follow along during the live coverages of every show. That's Main Event, Impact, SmackDown, and any show that I cover will be on there. And at certain points in the show, I will ask you guys, especially after the show, for your guys' comments and your scores, and just like what Casey Cunningham did for Monday Night Raw, the same could be done for you. So if you want to have your voices heard on the reviews here on WGS-TV, all you got to do is just submit them to the Facebook page. That's all you have to do. Also, don't forget to please subscribe to youtube.com/WrestleGamer and youtube.com/ZFXTV Network. So for Fingers McGee, also known as Chris Rogers from Rockways 11294, the Studley Man Ashley, James and the Big Easy, and the incomparable Lance Moss from Lance Moss TV, I'm the Wrestle Gamer. Don't be Billy Boudreaux, saying thank you very much for watching.
This is where some funny line is inserted at the end. Today's an exception.